Welcome to channel subscribe Meth Mountain That Moved. The town of Grey Hollow was a quiet place, surrounded by forest, river, and the great silhouette of Mount Arden. The mountain wasn't the tallest in the world, nor the most dangerous, but there was one strange thing about it. No one had ever reached its peak. People tried. People failed. And over time, people stopped trying. Everyone except 17-year-old Aiden Cross. Aiden lived with his mother in a small wooden house near the river. His father had passed away years ago, leaving behind only one thing: an old hiking journal filled with sketches of Mount Arden and a final, unfinished entry. "One day, someone will stand where I couldn't." Aiden read that line every night, and each time, it felt like the mountain was calling him. But the people of Grey Hollow laughed whenever he mentioned climbing it. "It's impossible. Everyone who tried turned back. No one can make it to the top." Aiden would simply smile. "Then I'll be the first." Some called him stubborn. Others called him foolish. But Aiden knew something they didn't. He wasn't climbing to prove them wrong. He was climbing to complete a promise. The first attempt. On the first day of summer, he packed a small backpack: water, food, rope, a flashlight, and his father's journal. When he reached the base of the mountain, the morning wind was cold, and the trees whispered like they were warning him. Aiden took a deep breath. "For you, Dad." The first few hours were easy. Birds sang above him, and sunlight filtered through the trees like golden dust. But by noon, the slope grew steep. Rocks loosened beneath his feet. The wind grew stronger, pushing him back. Aiden slipped once, fell to his knees, and scraped his hands. The pain stung, but he stood again. He climbed for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, until the sun began to set. Then fog swept in like a wall. Aiden tried to push forward, but the trail disappeared. Every direction looked the same. He felt the mountain swallowing him. By nightfall, he stumbled back down, exhausted, defeated. People shook their heads when he returned. "We told you. Why risk your life? No one can do it." Aiden didn't argue. He simply whispered, "I will try again." But at home, when he opened the journal, a tear slid down his face. "Dad, I couldn't do it." Yet something inside him whispered, "Not yet." The second attempt. A week later, he tried again. This time the weather was worse. Rain hammered the earth. Mud pulled at his shoes. Every step felt heavier than the last. By midday, a bolt of lightning split the sky, and Aiden flinched, not from fear, but from realization. If this storm gets worse, the mountain will kill me. Reluctantly, he turned back again. When he returned, people laughed louder. "Aiden Cross, the boy who fights a mountain. Why can't you understand? Some things can't be done." Even children mocked him, pretending to climb invisible rocks and falling dramatically into the dirt. Aiden ignored them or tried to. But each word became a stone on his back. That night his mother sat beside him. "You don't have to do this," she whispered gently. "I know," he said. "But I want to." She touched the journal. "Because of him?" Aiden nodded. Dad always believed the peak wasn't unreachable. He just ran out of time. His mother looked at him with a soft, sad smile. "Then don't climb for him. Climb for yourself." The training. Aiden realized he could not simply want to conquer the mountain. He had to prepare for it. So for the next 3 months, he trained harder than he ever had before. He woke before sunrise every morning and ran through the forest trails. He climbed smaller hills, learning how to grip rocks properly. He practiced balance, strength, endurance. His hands grew rougher, his steps steadier, his spirit stronger. The townspeople watched silently. Some were impressed. Others rolled their eyes. But Aiden didn't care anymore. He was becoming the person the mountain required. The final attempt. Autumn arrived, painting the town in orange and gold. The air grew cold, but Aiden's determination burned warmer than ever. On the day he returned to Mount Arden, he stood taller, stronger, and calmer. For the first time, he did not feel like a boy staring at a giant. He felt like a climber facing a challenge. He began early. The air was crisp and clean, the sky clear, and his heart steady. He climbed steadily, breath by breath, step by step. When the fog rolled in, he lit his lantern and kept going. When the path grew steep, he used the rope he'd trained with. When loose stones gave way under his feet, he caught himself, balanced, and continued. Hours passed, then an entire day. By nightfall, he reached a place no one in the town had ever seen, a narrow ridge with ancient markings carved into stone. His father had drawn these in his last journal sketch. Aiden touched them gently. "You made it this far, Dad. I'll go further." He slept there for a few hours, under a sky filled with stars that felt close enough to touch. At dawn, he continued, pushing through the cold wind and thin air. His muscles ached. His hands trembled. But something pulled him upward. Not hope, not pride, but a quiet belief. The peak is real, and I belong there. By afternoon, the trees vanished. The rocks thinned. The air grew icy. And then, Aiden saw it. Not a mirage. Not a dream. A small patch of flat land dusted with snow. The sky wide and open above it. The world spreading endlessly below it. The peak. Aiden stepped onto it, breath shaking, eyes filling with tears. He had done it. He had reached the place everyone believed was unreachable. The mountain had not changed. Aiden had. He pulled out the journal, opened to the last page, and wrote, "Dad, I made it. And anyone else can too, if they don't stop climbing." The return. When Aiden came back to Grey Hollow, word spread like wildfire. People ran from their homes. Children stared with wide eyes. The same people who mocked him now looked at him with awe. "How did you do it? Is it really possible? What's at the top?" Aiden only smiled. "It's beautiful." But the real beauty wasn't the view, it was the climb. From that day onward, Mount Arden was no longer a symbol of failure and fear. It became a symbol of possibility. People began hiking again, families, teenagers, even elders. Aiden guided them, taught them, encouraged them. Some reached the halfway point. Some reached the ridge. Some reached the peak. But it didn't matter how far they got. They all climbed higher than before. Aiden's father had once believed the peak wasn't impossible, just waiting. Now, everyone believed it too. The lesson. Mount Arden never moved. But Aiden did. He learned the truth that so many people never discover. The greatest mountains in life aren't conquered by strength. They are conquered by persistence. You don't need to be the strongest. You only need to be the one who keeps climbing. And sometimes, when you climb for long enough, the impossible becomes real.